So, guys, since the month of March, I've been reading a lot of philosophy, and now my mind has been going across all directions. I've been reading the works of Socrates, who says that the highest power of human excellence is when one questions oneself and the others. What is the meaning of life? What is justice really? Look, I haven't been able to get answers to all these questions, but I have invited somebody who is the coolest living philosopher I know. In this episode of Zen Talks, we're going to be talking about questions that reveal. Hi, I'm Sakina Bharmal, and today we have here with us somebody who is a national award winning actor. He's had 200 films across 12 languages. And not only that, not only is he a wonderful actor, but he's also a motivational speaker, globally renowned storyteller. So please welcome here with me Mr. Ashish Vidyarthi.
Those were some really kind words, Sakina.
Welcome, Ashish. Thank you so much for being here on Zen Talks.
Thank you. Pleasure. Pleasure is mine.
So, Ashish, you're a man of diversity. And tell me, what is it that you wake up to these days?
I wake up each day wanting to be rejuvenated. The things that are happening around, they do impact. And so there is this very interesting thing, Sakina, I call it the good tired example. You know, the day before this today is the interesting one for me, because that day I've really worked hard, okay, and I've really been good tired. And good tired has a couple of things, and I'll share that with you. The good tired is that you have done a little bit more than you thought that you could. Second, that you have at least made some more friends of your work. And the third thing is you're so tired that you're excited for next morning. The next morning is going to be another very interesting one. So that is the kind of night sleep I wake up after. But I promise you one thing. In this reality, I have to wake up knowing fully well that I have to generate myself again. Because what's happening around is not a myth, it's not a gossip, it is there. And each one of us needs to generate ourselves. At least I can speak for myself. I need to generate myself each morning to look forward to and create something amazing today too.
I love that, Ashish. Um, in your life, from what I've seen, you have carved new heights for yourself at every stage that you've been at. Tell me, is there a strategy that you have in your life, and what is it?
I mean, well, my take on strategy itself is there's a lot of hindsight involved when we try and divulge the strategy of our life. And having said that, for me, I actually see myself as somebody who's so there are different parts of my life. So there has been a part of my life which was up till 6 years back, when I was really, really doing things that I needed to. And needed to is something which you say that you must, you should, and a whole lot of shoulds were involved. I did see a gap between what I so just imagine now. I'm an actor, right? I'm an actor, and I'm supposed to be. I mean, that's my passion. That's why people are commenting that how lucky you are, that you always wanted to be an actor and you're an actor. But the interesting part is not that. The interesting part here is that while doing theater, there was this amazing happiness to do theater, and we are paid nothing for that. I mean, I'm not saying less. I'm saying nothing. So in spite of that nothing, there was amazing happiness in it. And then then you move in and create a profession out of it. You become a film actor, and then the people are kind enough to like you, and then you kind of move, and then you go into other languages and create some interesting value there. But inside of all of that, suddenly that thing that you're passionate about has become your profession. So it kind of comes down in a way to saying that all the things that were drawing you towards it, which you were excited about it, it has now been taken over also by another thing called profession. So at one point, the professional actor and the professional engineer have the same amount of passion about their work. So it's not that the actor, is doing more because is passionate about acting, and therefore it's now become a profession. So at that very point, and over these years, I also discovered that with all the passion that I have for acting, you'll pardon me, I have a cough, which raises hackles at these points, but still. So becoming an actor, over a period of time, it had become something which was another day at work, either another day at work or another day at looking for work. And as I looked around myself, around my other friends, and also at myself, I saw that I was reducing myself to play the continual waiting game. And in the waiting game, the mind does many things. You feel sorry for yourself to begin with. I'm so good. When will I get the next opportunity? And we are seeing a lot of these stories playing out. And that's where I reconnected to an old story, which I had heard, which I had heard spoken to me by a large hoarding in Delhi. When I saw the Tata Steel ad and it said, "We also make steel. Hum ispat bhi banate hain." And that story came back to me, and I realized that, what, I'm also an actor. There are many parts to me. And that's when I started experimenting and actually exploring and really looking at, what, Ashish, you're not just an actor. You started off being just a theater actor, then a Hindi film actor, then 10 other languages actor. And there can be more. So for me, that expansion beyond whatever even I called is that's the only thing that I can do. That was a sense of revelation for me. And what was a revelation is that I finally found that I could leap, not just think about it. So there is a quantum difference between thinking about leaping and leaping. And leaping is liberating.
Ashish, do you think you are living your purpose today?
Purpose is this cough that I just did. Purpose is the fact that I'm looking at you. The purpose is that I'm here for this conversation. I mean, who knows what the purpose is? I do not. I do not know anyone who knows the purpose. Very difficult for us to, like, when I was talking to my son early this morning, and I was just looking at his face. That was my purpose at that point. Just, it was just looking at him. When he says, "What happened?" I said, "Nothing, just looking." A little while back, what I was doing was the only thing that I was doing. So purpose is too big a word for me to even answer if I'm living my purpose. How I really look at it, and I ask the people that I work with, is that, how are you doing right now? Are you feeling? How are you experiencing being fulfilled at this moment? Because just like that amazing life that each one of us wants, it begins with creating amazing moments each moment. So therefore, for me, even if we are looking at whatever purpose that you and I believe that we may have, if we can be purposefully living this moment, that we are doing fully whatever that we have said yes to, and whatever that we are not able to do fully, we are dealing with it, reaching out, finding ways to do it. Purpose for me also, if I can look at it on a daily basis, is am I adding value? Am I adding value all over? Okay, to myself, to others, people around me. Am I adding value? Amazing purpose. And one could be doing that cooking, which I don't. One could do it eating, which I do. So whatever that you're doing, can you bring a smile to someone's face? Purpose. Can you
You just
sleep
got
well?
one to mind.
Yeah.
Well, so then what is this whole conversation about purpose? There are a lot of individuals today who are on that lookout for purpose. So, as you said, purpose is an ongoing journey for you. Purpose is something that you do every day. But if somebody asks you a question, Ashish, how do I really get closer to that purpose? What would your answer be to that?
So, Sakina, there are questions which sound very good intellectually. I'll just give you an example before I come to this. For example, hasn't there been times where people have said, "Wow, Sakina, what a good call that you took here. Wow." It's just, the way Sakina kind of maps it. Wow, fantastic. Now, hasn't it happened to you? You are saying that, gosh, I never planned it. I just took the best bet at that moment. All right. Now, that's what life is. Life is simply lived, my friends. I've always felt that we try to complicate life, especially when people do interviews like this. Or so, Ashish, when you picked that role, what were you thinking? I was thinking that I'll get a job, but I won't say that. I think what I was looking for as the nuances of that character, and all that nonsense. So let's be straight and let's simplify life, because the more we create a halo around it, other people say, "Oh, that's difficult." On the other hand, what is available for each one of us to really get is that entire, we all want happiness, Sakina. We all want happiness. We all want to have a smile. And then we love challenges. You know why? Because we want to go to the next one. We hate boring lives. That's why we like challenges. I tell you about me. I would have just slept my way through life. Just so yeah. But it's very boring for me. That's why I get up. If I get up, even that's boring. So I try and do new things. So if you just put it very simply, without weighing it down by heavier words, heavier words may sell programs. But if you look at very simply, that person, that child, is happy and says, hello. Is that there? What purpose? Happy, yeah. What happened? I'm hungry. Finished. What purpose? Beta, what's your purpose? No purpose. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. That's my purpose. I want to cry. I'm missing something. I'm crying. Right now, what's my purpose? I'm here. You've invited me. I'm here. Why? No reason. Somebody will say, I'm sure you thought of. I say, yeah, I thought of. And then I thought nothing. Because each of our lives is based on certain calls that we take. We may later on intellectualize it. On the other hand, other than purpose, a word which I like and I would love to share that with you is, each of us love to be in a particular zone. Like if you look at Kamo Besh, plus minus, there's a particular kind of things that you like to do. Plus minus, there's sort of things. So it's like this. This is a zone that you're in. This is a zone that you're in. And your choices will be in this. So not be in this. That's not my zone. For example, if somebody comes and talks, numbers with me, talks interest rates and all that, I'll switch off. But somebody talks of um, how did that person achieve that? What is Elon Musk thinking when he's thinking of that X rocket X? What that now that is interesting. Even though science may not be one of my and science may not be something which I could carry on with post my 12th, thanks to my extreme lack of devotion for mathematics. But still, that interests me. That's in my zone. That's in my zone of, hey, that's interesting. Talk accountancy. It kind of puts me off. All right. So consider it's a zone, that each one of us has a zone. And in that zone, we pick up many different things. So for me, I have discovered my zone is of discovery. My zone is of adding value. My zone is of conversations and meeting amazing people. And I do anything. I cross cultures, I cross interests. My friends are also chalk and cheese. My interests are also chalk and cheese. But it's all in this zone. And in that zone, when I'm honestly living that zone, I'm happy. I'm really happy. And there are many aspects to this zone. So it's not a narrow, this is my job. It's a slightly wider one, but still it is the zone. I mean, if it does in any way answer your question.
So you're talking about the zone, and I believe that the person you are discovering that every single day.
Yep.
When did you identify that you want to make that switch from being on that zone to
Yeah.
this zone?
I probably just made us, I probably said that I need not belong to only one part of that zone. So I've been an actor. Okay. Then I moved from, say, a Hindi film to various languages. So again, I'm an actor, but I've just widened my zone. So one of the things that I discovered also in this period is that I am talkative. I mean, I've always been branded talkative right from school days. with one of my teachers writing in my fifth grade report card. There was something called feedback or something like that, reaction, something. And she said that Ashish isn't talkative, just has a lot to share. And I kind of grew older, still unable to not being talkative. And then over a period of time, I had an amazing number of friends, and I've been chatting with friends. So all this technology is made for me, the mobile phones, the WhatsApp. It's been made for me because I love to communicate, okay? And someone up there said, hey, Ashish, you need it. So we create it for you. Now, at a point, I really got that I'm communicating with my work. So I love to communicate with my work. I love to communicate any which way. Okay. I started taking selfies, just to let you know, very interesting thing.
Really?
Before the front facing camera came on. So if you look at my Facebook profile or page or whatever from years back, much before the BlackBerry I used to take with the back camera. It was for me that I just didn't want me. I wanted me with a story behind me. So everything for me is a story. Everything is for me is an experience which can be shared with others. Like I tell my wife that I love it when I'm at a beautiful place and I can just look in and say, wow. And then I can hear a voice alongside me also saying something to that. Because I'm not really a solo person. I don't like being alone. So for me, when I said that, can I do something more than just being an actor? In fact, that was one of my first things, when people started in corporate started inviting me. So initially they would invite me just to come and talk about acting and anecdotes of an actor, which I have plenty. But then I said, but there is something more also to me. I've discovered people being happy for different reasons and unhappy for very different reasons. I've had some amazing takeaways that how people can do amazing things if they are not dependent on the outside. All right. So both the experiences of an actor and the human being, they came together. And I said, how about me communicating that? So in a way, I switched within the zone from only that communicator to also this communicator. You're getting a sense of
Wow.
that? And
Yeah,
that's the
absolutely.
joy of it. It's all within us, Sakina. If you
Mhm.
just look at yourself, I've seen you over a few years now, and I have seen you how I haven't seen you switching. I've just seen you moving. You and
Yeah,
that's the joy. That's the joy of life. If you can do it with ease, rather than saying I'm switching, I'm changing, I'm reincarnating. You're not, my friend. You're just moving.
amazing. So Ashish, you address the world on various topics, and like I said in the beginning, you're an avid storyteller. If you could teach the world one thing today that would really change the life of many, what would that one thing be?
It's amazing to look at the simplicity of things. So look around for people who simplify things for you. It's I read it some years back. When I was in college. It said that a person came to a psychotherapist and said that this happened, and what do you think is my problem? And the psychotherapist said that I think your problem is that you're not taking care of yourself and you're blaming the world. You get it? And that person said yes. And the psychotherapist said, wait. Let me just tell you again. What I meant is that who you are for the world and who the world is for you is mutually disconnected. You get it? And the man said, no. Psychotherapist says, "Ah, thank God, I thought I was losing my touch." So, over a period of time, we kind of love to, sometimes engage in, wow, क्या deep बात करी है, मैं थोड़ा और समझो ना. अगर deep बात सहज हो तो amazing है, और मुझे मुझे उसमें गजब लगता है कि अगर हम if we can understand some things with simplicity. And for me, as a storyteller, I don't use jargon, Sakina. And
Yeah.
what I've seen is that what happens with jargon is the moment I said, if we say that, do you think there should be silos? Everybody's going to say that. Do you think that we should collaborate? Everybody's going to say that, right? The jargons, we know what to do to the jargons. But how will it be if we can say that? How will it be if I can reach out? and seek help and be there for the other, now something happens. That's when the silos really disappear. When human beings get that we need not be alone. Okay. Now, that's what I love to work on. When people can actually simplify things and work on the things that need to be worked on rather than memorizing how to do away with certain things.
That's what they say, right? If you can't explain it to them, confuse them. And that's how um, you have to reverse engineer this process. Ashish, you spoke about storytelling, and and I've seen audiences get enthralled when you speak. If for somebody who wants to have the ability to tell stories in their business, what is that one tip you'd like to leave with them?
Again, tips are not something which I'm really good at, but storytelling is again itself is an interesting jargon which we also, yeah, we need storytelling. But just look at this. How is life as a conversation? Okay, we are engaging in a conversation right now, Sakina, right? And there's a conversation in which we are moving from one place to the other. For me, life itself is a conversation. Okay, what we are doing in life is an extension of that conversation. Why is it a conversation? Because conversations move. It isn't static. Ca- Conversations are dynamic. Your questions, you being here, you're altering some things. I don't even remember what we curated about this conversation, but it's taking on some very different paths. Now imagine if you can communicate the story of your product. Begin with understand the story of your organizations, the story of your brand, who you are for yourself. Okay, because that is going to reflect in your product. And when people who are part of your team, they really know who you are, and that's when they say that who we are. And that's what we are going out with. Because product is a part of it. Product is a part of it. What it says, what it communicates is the thing. There's so many telephones, so many microphones. There's so many fashion statements, but we use some. Why? Because that story we have liked, and we say, no, this is better. Oh, do we really know which is better? We just say that, I don't know why, but I love this. And that's where even human beings play a very important role, Sakina. If you just look at it, there are people who may be very nice. Have you ever met very nice people who are very boring?
Yeah,
Yeah.
many.
And it's like the material hai yaar, but yaar, paka mat. Now why? Now it's not just a question that that isn't person isn't a good storyteller, but somehow that person is not inspiring more people to join that story. This work, any work that we do in our life, can only be can only be spread when we can impact wider. And we impact wider when more people buy into that thought of yours. And for that, you need to make it interesting. And therefore, I mean, if that one tip that were asking for is be a listening speaker, a listening communicator, to listen what is being communicated, what is landing. And that's a very, very important part of communication. Are you listening to? Is that person interested in? Are you speaking to that person's listening or not? So, and
Listen.
it opens up amazing possibilities, Sakina. It opens up amazing possibilities.
Love that, Ashish. Ashish, coming back to the previous thing where you said that you only have to simplify life, and I actually got distracted because I loved when you spoke about stories, and which is why I was tempted to ask you about storytelling. But the next question that I have for you is, as you said, there are a lot of people who just walk away with jargons, complicate things, also leading to the fact that there are a lot of myths that cloud us. What are some of these myths that you would want to demystify today?
So people don't do it. I mean, if you want it, there are cigarette stores, and nobody's forced you to go and buy a cigarette. there is a designer store, designer watches. Nobody's forcing you to buy that watch. So these are choices that we make. What do you want in your life? All right. So I'll give you an example of certain words that we love to play with and love to talk about. For example, this beautiful thing called unlearning. And we all say unlearning. Yeah. We need to learn, unlearn, unlearn, learn, and all that. What is unlearning? Please tell me. Pray tell me. What is unlearning? I have not unlearned anything. I've just learned new things. Life, it's not really like it's a bucket and usko kuch nahi unlearn kuch nahi kar sakta. I am not without. None of the experiences that I went that I've gone through, none of those horrible things that I've gone through, none of those amazing things that I've gone through. I'm not without any one of them. I'm with. And now my ability not to let it crop up, not to let it come in the way of my new learning, that is the name of the game. So the game for me, it's a bit like, can you think of removing salt to a dish which is added? It's impossible. I'm told it's impossible. Yeah, you can't. But you add some other ingredients and then, or you increase the quantity and you do something else with it. Welcome. Welcome to the world where to each one of our experiences, when we add learning, an amazing amount of world, amazing, amazing different universes are available to us. So let's not get caught up in those things. I would love to unlearn. Do not bother to unlearn. Just be open to learning new stuff, learning new experiences. That is where the gold is. See, the gold is in contrarian thoughts. Okay, where somebody, okay, all right, got it. That is where your gold is. So for me, I keep looking at how many more things I am wowed by. And I say, wow, that is awesome. Really nice. Just before this talk, I was listening to an amazing webinar, an interview on LinkedIn with Shalini Lal, and I was listening to it. And it's an amazing thing, they were having a fantastic conversation. It was like, wow, wow, wow. Now, can you enjoy? Can you take away from people? So I don't have to unlearn. I just have to learn. So that is one thing. The other thing is, what is reinvent? What is reinvent? Please tell me. When remember you were in standard 5, Sakina. That was a different, different things that you learned then, and then you moved to standard 6. Remember, and there were new books, and nobody in your family said, you know what, Sakina is reinventing. Nothing. She just went from standard 5 to standard 6, and then one day you and I, we went to college. Wherever we went, we never reinvented. Reinvention is something that we are putting on ourselves because we at some point said that we are now invented. I'm an actor. So if I'm doing anything else, people say, how come? I'll say, no, no, I'm reinventing. You never told anybody that you reinvented when you went to college. So imagine we are not fixed. And that's what I kind of keep sharing with people. Make it easy for yourself. Make it simple. So people ask me, so how come? I say, how come what? They say, no, how come? I say, no, please tell me, how come what? I mean, what would you be okay with? What is my predictable that you would be okay with? So a key part in this is to challenge what gossip is going around about the static of life. Life has never been static to us, my friends. And when people talk about the uncertainty which is all around, really, before January there was certainty, was there? You knew everything was happening. Yeah, COVID, I guess. Otherwise, we had everything planned out, and everything was going according to plan through our lives. Yeah. So we really have to get that life has always been dynamic, and each one of us has always been dynamic. And all of us who have fallen are because we have not been able to handle the dynamic. And the only thing that we need to do is to be okay. Okay. I mean, like the change is the only constant. Yes. Yes. I mean, you never could hold on to your age, could you? So when we make things difficult, there's so much change happening. There is always change happening. The question that you need to ask is, where did you stop? Ashish, where did you stop and say, this is now me? Beyond this is something which is not me. So as long that you and I and all of us can understand ourselves to be present continuous, life is okay. And then one day we will die. But not one day before that shall we say that we are over.
Amazing, Ashish. So, two biggest myths: reinvention and unlearning. Ashish, I'm tempted to ask this question, and I'm kind of running the risk of asking you this, but I'll still go ahead and do that. Tell me, what is the difference between Ashish 20 years ago, today, and possibly 20 years later?
No clue. No clue. I still don't know. One common thing is I still don't know what I'm doing. I still, I've been always, you see, as the only child of my parents, all right, very old parents. So I was very scared that they may die before me. And what will I do? Who will take care of me? So my first fear was not taking care of them. I said, if they will die, who will take care of me? मतलब मेरा क्या होगा? Okay. And then over a period of time, it was, I have to take care of them. There's no one else to take care of them. Okay. So there was that concern. So what to do? How do I take care of them? So I became an actor to take care of my parents, my friend. Not because I wanted to do different roles and different nothing. I was passionate about acting, but I chose acting as a profession because I had to take care of my parents. So many people ask me, why did you do all these kind of films? I said, I did this film because that's my profession. I had to take care of my parents and I did no favor. I did know nothing. Yeah, I have such a lot of things. Yeah, that's my job. Like I love, so again, I love to take care of things. I love to take care of people. It gives me pleasure. It's not a bondage that I've been born into. It's something which I love. So, and throughout this period, I have no clue what tomorrow would look like. Luckily, I've been a self-employed person through my life. So self-employed people very quickly realize that you're going to stay relevant. So I've been from a time when there were only landlines to a time when those pagers came. If some of you recall the time of pagers, salespeople would come and throw the pager and show that Motorola pager doesn't break. From that time to the first of the mobile phones, all the time doing one thing. The pager was also to get work. The mobile phone also was to get work. My day, each day as a self-employed person is to do and get new work. So for me, I have no clue. Even in hindsight, for example, I'm not very good at memory. I don't even remember too many dates except one date, which I somehow remember that 8th of July, 1992, I came down to Bombay, landed at Borivali station. But other than that, I have no recollection of what I was thinking. What I do remember is that I have been continually driven by uncertainty. I've been driven by a fear. And that has given me a lot of. So I wake up very early, Sakina, and I don't at all say that I wake up peacefully. That's what you began with. I wake up thinking, of what else can I be doing? What else should I be doing? How else can I be looking? So that early morning is a great time for me to make notes. I send a lot of voice notes and I kind of type certain things. I'm talking to certain people. So I have no clue. I have no clue about what I'm going to be doing 20 years from now. Hopefully, I'll be alive. Hopefully, I'll be traveling with my son and wife. I love to travel. I love to be with friends. I love to eat. I'm missing right now being with Mowgli, our son. He's in Berkeley, and I'm fully living that missing part also. And so one of the changes that has happened is that as an actor, my vulnerability allowed me to create roles, work on myself as an actor. Then when you are from an unknown actor, when you become a well-known actor or some person who's known, you start hiding that vulnerability. And that's where the pain begins, because you start living up to an image that people have created of you. And that's when the lie begins. And then you perpetrate it by creating a mirage for yourself. And now take it outside of films. Take it to the world of corporates, take it to the world of politicians, take it to the world of cricketers, take it to the world of well known, take it to anyone who's aspirational. We all want, we aspire for things to be like, to wear like, to look like someone who probably has got it injected. All right. So you are like a twice removed from reality and you want to live it. Okay. And just that's the that's the thing that you really have to get. And when people actually get that the game is not to be like, because I'll I've successfully failed in all my attempts to be like, but I'm amazing at being me. I'm extraordinary at being me. And that's what I share with people, in my coaching programs and in the workshops that I do, the talks that I do. I allow people to discover the amazingness that each one of us has, which I call the me-ness, not the mean,
Meanness.
the me-ness. And that's something amazing we have. Let's not discount it. That's why they say that put the oxygen mask first here before you do it there. Because if you can really tap into that amazing, unique me, that's when you will discover this extraordinary me has a lot to offer to the world. So therefore, I don't say we will do it. I say I will do it, because extraordinary eyes make phenomenal we. We can't hide behind. Chalo, yeah, Sakina, we will do it. We will do it. I'll just be back. Let's do it, and I'll be back. No, that'll not work. So it comes back to the human experience, Akina. So life is actually simple. If we really take on that, this is all about a game that you and I have taken on. And there'll be days that we'll not be successful and days that we'll be very successful. Both mean nothing. It's just another day.
Ashish, we're talking about success, and a lot of people who are watching this probably would want to know that in order to be successful, is suffering a necessity?
Yeah. Dealing with adversity. Yeah. Suffering, option. Suffering is more like I'm feeling sorry for myself. If you feel sorry for yourself, good for you. Happy for you. What else? Who cares? Try and go out into the main street and say that I'm feeling sorry for myself. If you're not run over, people say, Samne se hat. So feeling sorry for yourself is a millstone that you're putting around your neck. If you want to put it, most welcome, not needed. On the other hand, what you could really look at is, yes, I'm dealing with this issue. How do I deal with it? Look around. First, look at yourself and then look around. If you don't know how to do it, there are people around who know how to do it. Reach out, work on your relationships, nurture people. And therefore, Sakina, therefore for me, life is not an either or. Life is with, life is also, life is and. We try to look at it. So, अगर ये होगा तो नहीं ये भी होगा और वो भी होगा. There will be days that you'll feel that you're hopeless and you're down and out. And there will be days that you think you're amazing. And then there'll be days which you're in between. So for me, therefore, the facets are therefore important. Because facets let you win each day. There'll be some facet of you which you see is winning. We need to gift ourselves wins. So in a mental game, Sakina, like whatever you are calling success vis-a-vis me may be very different from what I see as success. So when the veneer of the lie comes in, then I now start, yes, people will, people do ask me when they look at my car, oh, so that's a nice car. So we have now one car, which is a second-hand car. And over the last few years, we've been One of our cars has been some other car, and then the second car has always been a second-hand car. And it took a lot. As an actor, how can you buy a second-hand car? And when I read that Rich Dad Poor Dad, that time I thought I'll do it. Found it very difficult. How can you buy a second-hand car? You're an actor. Then a few years back, a friend of mine told me, "Hey, Ashish, तूने बोला था ना?" "हाँ, बोला तो था." So let's do it. And I drove into our building on a Sunday. We got some interesting cars people have. And thankfully, everybody was walking around. Remember earlier on Sundays, people used to walk around together?
Yeah.
So people were walking around, and I walked in, we drove in, and people said, "Hi, Ashish." I said, "My new second-hand car." What it did is that it freed me. It freed me forever. And I got that people may be expecting a particular kind of watch on my wrist, or a particular way of dresses, or what we have in our house. And if you can tell them that we have this, and this is my name, and you may like my name, otherwise no, but my name is not that. This is my name. So it is a bit like your name. Can you be okay with your name? Can you be okay with your possessions? Can you be okay with who you are? And then you can live without any memory. You don't have to buy a car. Many a times, I tell you, many a times people have come down from their office just to have a look at my car. And I'm completely okay with it, because I'm happy to tell them that this is my car. And this is the person who sits in it has just met you. All right. And that's the important bit. When you get that, you and I are not trapped until we are trapped. So there is nobody asking you to do anything. Like you say that, where are you from? I'm from there. Got it. And that's free. You're freed forever.
Literally like the monk who sold his Ferrari.
You
Ashish,
didn't even have a Ferrari here. I want a Ferrari, but don't have it. Can you be okay with that?
um, Ashish, I remember once you had told me that you spend a lot of time traveling, and that's why you
Yeah.
learn from others' experiences. And you mentioned that that is something that really changed the way you looked at life. What are the other life altering things, as per your experience, should other people really take up in their life at least once?
So it's not a thing, but it is what you want to do. Each one of us has something that you want to do. For example, for me, I've always wanted to travel. And Sakina, I used to tell when I started off traveling, beginning acting and traveling, I used to tell people that I'm I'm acting for free. You're paying me for staying away from home. All right? Because yes, I wanted to travel, but I wanted to travel with my family. So through my years of career, right from the beginning, every year we used to take 2 or 3 trips just like that. 2 दिन का, 3 दिन का, 10 दिन का, कुछ ना कुछ करके. I personally do feel that the bucket list, don't keep very big bucket lists. I got very small tumblers which I keep fulfilling. And those tumblers would also be having coffee with a friend of mine. Sagina, you remember that I've reached out to you. Hey, Sagina, you're free?
Yeah.
Let's have a chat. We just had a chat. Why you me? I do it with friends all over. I just drop by. Hey, are you here? He said, yeah. Can I drop over for a hop over for a lunch? And then yes or no, or just having coffee, or just going somewhere. Can we just do that? Can we not have those big bucks? I want to go to Machu Picchu. Yes, I want to go to Machu Picchu, but I also want to visit a friend. And this period has really told us that don't postpone it. This period has
Hmm.
just told us that all the things that we thought that when the time will be right, we'll be doing it. The time may not be right. The right time just went past. And in that thing, one of the things that I have noticed is that people all over, especially when you are very little, you don't postpone. You just do it. You just do it. I remember shooting in Salem, 46 degrees Celsius. We are shooting in this small village, and our our makeup, vans, they were all there, and what I know is the vanity vans. And so it was so hot that we used to begin shoot at 7, and we used to finish at 11 a.m., then take a break, and then again start around 4 p.m. And I used to feel so guilty that, people in those villages are living in that temperature. I would get in, and all of us actors would get in and then come out. And I would feel very guilty that what if they're looking at me, sir, you're so lucky and all that. But when I would come out, they're bright eyes, they're bathed, they're again put some this thing, and they say, how is that? So I want to have some coffee, sir. That when I got that they take so little, it takes so little for people to be happy, I took away from me the right to complain. So one of the things that I do share with people is that how would your life be if you do not have the right to complain? If you actually have the possibility of saying thank you to yourself and to the world. And that is one of the biggest gifts that I've given to myself. I've taken away my right to complain. And I've told my friends and my family and my wife, in fact, if I complain, and I do complain, of course I do complain to my wife, and she'll say, you're complaining. I'll say, oh, yeah. They are not to tolerate my complaints. My friends tell me, I think you're complaining. I got it. They will not tolerate my complaints. What has happened then is that you create an understanding around you not to tolerate yourself smaller than what you are committed to. Will you slip? Oh, yes, you will. But there'll be people who will tell you you're slipping. So can we have such amazing friendships? Can we create and nurture such friendships and relationships, even at work? Not to have those people who say, wow, Sagina ji, you're too good, Sagina. Sagina loved it, Sagina. Oh, wow, you're so good. It's boring. Yeah. It's like, you need to be the child. You need to nurture children, like that child in emperor's clothes. You need to nurture friends who say, hey, listen, kya kar raha hai tu? What are you doing? Is that child who cried out, hey, the emperor is naked. That's what separates the celebrity from a normal guy whose friend can back him and say, "Oi, kya kar raha hai? What are you doing? What nonsense? Stop doing this." That's what we need, my friends. And that ability, if we can nurture in organizations, when people get the privilege of being corrected, that for me is growth. And I've consistently over the years, Sagina, I have nurtured such relationships, and whatever bit that I've grown and discovered is a whole lot due to such people whom I call up, and they call me up and they give me feedback and the joy of life.
And I can credit my growth to you as well, because I've had that relationship with you where you have shared feedback, and that's something that I'm always very, very thankful for. Ashish, one question for you, and this is slightly on a different note. You spoke about nurturing relationships, spoke about an environment that you have to create for yourself. Now, we find that there are a set of people who have their life very easy. And on the other hand, there are people who are living in arduous conditions. I've heard a lot of people say that you need to have the right mindset to be successful. But don't you think, Ashish, that it's very easy to cultivate the right mindset sitting in a posh, air conditioned bungalow versus being homeless on the streets? Now, what do you think is the role of mindset in these two situations?
Don't talk about others, talk about yourself. The point is not, so any person who asks this question, ask that person, okay, so tell me about you. Don't tell me what it is easy for whom and it is very difficult for whom. Tell me, is it easy for you or not? Because if it is not, now let's start talking. So this entire example of comparison, and these are notional conversations where you are judging people who are rich and judging people who are poor. Experiences are not common, my friends. You can't have one set of people all having the same experience, another set all having the same experience. Then the richest people would be the happiest people in the world. And people who are poor would be the unhappiest people. Now, I want to tell you, Each one of us, we are very poor in comparison to some and very rich in comparison to others. Are you happy or sad? That's the point. And the point for us to get is that to not get into branding anyone, but to look at what is the human experience of that person. Where is that human being? So I got X amount of money. And I'm feeling horrible. How much money do I have?
X.
And how much is it X? You don't know. So whatever amount of money that I have, I'm either happy or unhappy. Put this X as 100 rupees, put this X as 100 crores. This person's unhappy is unhappy. What we are talking about, and therefore a key part is that it is not the external, my friend. And it sounds very, very utopian. But I will tell you, I have seen people with a lot of money who are very unhappy, and people with a lot less money very happy. And the other way around also. Some people have quite a few things, but they are continuously looking at, pata mere paas to ye bhi nahi hai, wo bhi nahi hai, wo bhi nahi. Continuously, they're only talking complaints. Now, I can't handle it. And there are certain people, I will share this amazing thing that this lady who's, she was my boss's best friend at my first job at this central production center in Doordarshan, Sita Ratnakar. I interviewed her recently on my show, Living Forward. She is sunshine. She lives on her own. She got into India a day before the quarantine started. When we reconnected, she said, "Hi, Ashish, how are you?" I said, "How are you, Sita?" She's on top of the world. I just completed day before yesterday my quarantine. I made such a lot of new friends and I met such a lot of amazing new people. And I said, "Who?" And she sent me photographs. She sent me photographs of birds which were just flying, which she catches through her windows. Through her life, I have seen her happy, smiling. You know, and there are countless such examples in your life and my life and all of our lives, but we overlook them. The only thing that stays and we like to remain with are the things that we could have had, we should have had. All of us don't feel sorry for others. We only feel sorry for ourselves. And that's the question that I want us to deal with. Because when we feel sorry for ourselves, we are not doing any service to anyone. We have to crack ways, we have to find ways, and the ways are simple. They're difficult to accept, but you have to really, really get it. But the choice of having your life as a happy life is yours. The choice of me to be happy is mine, my friend. So again, you're a very dear friend, but you can't help me. I have to find my happiness. You may tell me that how lucky you are. Ask me, do you know what else I don't have? Now, these are things that I'll go to, I'll die with. My parents, we never had a car. My father always wanted to buy a Morris Minor. We never could collect 35,000 rupees, in the 70s. Never could. And my father, with great difficulty, he kind of made a house and we stayed there. It was in an unrecognized colony. Later on, it became recognized. The place used to be flooded, electricity dropped, everything. Spent life happily. Later years, he moved to Mumbai. We all stayed together. And then he moved on at 92, happy. Happy. Happiness is nothing to do with what you think you need to have happiness for. Happiness is a state of mind, and I'm not talking just philosophy. Just to also let you know, actually, let's not disown philosophy. At the core of business, at the core of life, at the core of everything that grows beyond the immediate is a philosophy. For me, the right to be happy is a right that you and I need to own up to, as that's my right.
Thank you so much, Ashish, for that one. My last question to you, if I may. We spoke about bucket lists, we spoke about Tumblr lists. So tell me, what's next? You. So I'll tell you why I'm asking this question. You're and a storyteller, like I said in the beginning. You are an international speaker from a distance, your life looks like a dream life. So, what's next on the Tumblr list for you?
So a rolling stone that I am, I kind of really wanting to reach out to the world. My programs, I think, can make a difference to people. I'll begin by virtually traveling everywhere and reaching out to people. I've discovered that this 16 by 9 world that you and I are interacting in is a very powerful world. We are reaching absolutely here. So over this last 4 months, 5 months, we've been doing amazing number of programs for large organizations, large numbers. We are reaching 3,000, 5,000 people we are reaching. We are also doing workshops for small numbers, and I can do deep dive workshops here. Also coaching. And that's something which is very, very dear to me, because coaching for me is the ability for each one of us to discover the nooks in ourselves. Hidden within our nooks are some amazing things. And for me, creativity is something which I love to add to life for people. And Sakina, here is something which I've added to my life and I consistently love to share with people, is to get creative with your time. Not just time as in like today, but time in life. What else can you be thinking for yourself? So you've achieved a lot. What else can you be thinking? How else can you be reusing your life? That inspires me. Yes, I do see Avid Miner, my company, collaborating with a lot of interesting people, including you and including many more people. Because as we collaborate, we add to each other's strength. We add value to so many more people. And look at the opportunity in life when human beings can actually get that human beings are social mammals. And if we are social, might as well walk together, create and create, discover new frontiers for each other, discover new horizons. Just to also let you know, I've also been editing some interesting small videos. So, so this period has been of learning technology, learning to use technology actually, and waiting for Arth, who is learning technology, computer science at Berkeley, spending a lot of time with Pilu, my wife, discovering facets about ourselves, also discovering that there are many things that I thought that I could not do without. Can you believe it? Over the last 4 months, I have not stepped out of home, and I have created some amazing things. I've just altered my mind not to look at this as a lockdown. In fact, my LinkedIn profile, it says homebound but not locked down, and that's what I want to
Wow.
give people.
Ashish, thank you so much. I am really, really grateful to you for spending this time. While this was supposed to be a 30-minute conversation, I have absolutely no idea how time flew. Thank you so much, Ashish, for this time of yours and for sharing these wonderful insights on Zen Talks. We were talking about questions that reveal. So I hope and I'm sure that these questions really revealed a lot for you. Thank you so much, everybody. Please stay tuned on to watch Zen
And
Talks.
Sakina, I must share this. I'm very happy how you are flowering. All right, and keep flowering, keep growing, and keep living your passion. And I love that smile of yours. Keep that. That's very, very
Thank you so
important.
much,
All right,
Ashish. Thank you so much.
rock on, and thank you each one of you who've spared your time and spent some time with Sakina and me. Thank you.